Hey guys, James here with Waterford Business Solutions, and I've been talking a lot recently about moving from desktop to online with QuickBooks, and today I wanted to spend some time specifically talking about the pros and cons of the different versions of QuickBooks Desktop versus QuickBooks Online, and why sometimes it makes more sense to stick with desktop and where QuickBooks Online beats desktop and vice versa. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that QuickBooks Desktop is an older system. It's a longer running system, so there are some features that are better suited there. But QuickBooks Online is rapidly growing and is changing a lot. The other thing is this is just going to go over kind of some pluses and minuses, pros and cons between the two systems. It's not going to go over what transfers and what doesn't transfer. I have a different video on that, but this is specifically pluses and minuses of each system. So where I'm going to start is obviously the probably most obvious one. The most obvious one, in my opinion, is going to be the usability of the platform and where and when you can use it. With QuickBooks Desktop, it is a desktop-based program. That means it's downloaded to a particular computer, particular server, somewhere on one specific device. Now, if you are on a network and you have multi-user mode and you can access that computer from your office manager's computer and your computer and several different locations in the office, that's great. But generally speaking, it's going to be limited specifically to one area in the office. It's not going to be located in multiple different places. You can't go home and work on it. You can't work on it on your phone. It is only going to be located on that one computer. Now, you can always pay for a third-party integration or a third-party application like Right Networks, which bases your QuickBooks Desktop in the cloud. Or you could use a cloud-based Windows parallel, something like that, so that you have like a remote login to a virtual computer. In cases like that, obviously you can log into wherever you can log in to that cloud-based virtual server. And you would get the same benefits as QuickBooks Desktop, but virtually, kind of like how QuickBooks Online does, where you can access it anywhere. However, it's only going to really work on a desktop. The benefit to QuickBooks Online, and the reason I think QuickBooks Online wins this area, and a lot of people do agree with this, is that it is much more mobile. You don't have to have it downloaded to specifically one device or specifically one area. You can access it from your iPad. You can access it from your phone. There's an app on your cell phone. You can access it from your computer in the office, your computer at home, your wife's computer, the computer at your mother's house if you go and visit. You can access it from anywhere and everywhere as long as you have an internet connection. Now, that is a pro-con depending on who you talk to. QuickBooks Online has to have internet connection to work. If you don't have internet, it will not work. Generally speaking, though, nowadays, we have internet almost anywhere we go, whether it be on our phone, whether it's in our car. I mean, there's cars now with mobile hotspots. So the issue of internet is becoming less and less problematic. Personally, I think QuickBooks Online wins the usability area as to where and how much you can use it, as it can be used on any computer anywhere in the world, as long as there's internet. Even if you're overseas, as long as you can get to the QBO website, you can access it. Whereas with desktop, you are going to be much more limited in that respect. Now the next area, reporting. This is honestly where desktop wins. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Standard desktop doesn't win too much overall. It is a lot easier to create some reports in desktop, and some reports come more standard. But in the plus version of QuickBooks Online, you still have 65 reports. That's a few less, I think, at last count, that's about 7 less than what desktop has. But there's a point where you're not going to be using a lot of these reports. And the benefit with online is, even though it only comes with 65 standard reports, Each and every one of those reports is able to be customized. You just need to know how to customize it. QuickBooks does not have any built-in custom reports for a specific company like Desktop has. With QuickBooks Desktop, you can buy a QuickBooks for Contractors, a QuickBooks for retail sales, stuff like that, and it comes with pre-built reports for your industry. Online doesn't have that because online is designed to work for everybody, not designed for a specific company. So if you want pre-built reports, then Desktop definitely wins out because it has it. If you're willing to spend a little bit of time to create these reports, then online wins. The other thing with these reports is if you're using Enterprise, QuickBooks Enterprise, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's not it could go either way. Enterprise definitely wins. Enterprise has 150 reports, twice as many as what QuickBooks Online has. They are specific to certain fields, but they go in much more depth than what QuickBooks Online does at this point in time. Now, Online's trying to get better about that. They've released QuickBooks Advanced. It does come with more than the 65 reports that you get with QuickBooks Online Plus. It also comes with graphical reporting, which Enterprise does not have. So there are some areas that it does make up for that, but it's still not beating Enterprise. So I would say QuickBooks Enterprise wins this one. If you're willing to spend the time to develop these reports, then QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop are probably a draw between those two programs. But QuickBooks Enterprise definitely wins. Now, pricing-wise, pricing is definitely a big thing because a lot of people don't like online because online is a monthly subscription. You have to pay every month or every year to get it. And yes, there is cost involved. At this point in time, to get the mid-level of QuickBooks Online, you're looking at $70 per month. So that adds up. You're looking at $840 a year. That is more than QuickBooks Desktop. Point blank, that is more than QuickBooks Desktop. Most of the time for a QuickBooks Desktop program, you're going to be looking at somewhere around, depending on the sale that you get, what's going on. If you go to Costco or Sam's to buy it, you can generally get QuickBooks Desktop for somewhere between $400 to $700. So it is more, generally at least $100 more than what you would pay for Desktop. Then you have those people out there that will buy Desktop and won't upgrade because you can go 2, 3, 4. I found a file just the other day that hadn't been upgraded since 2011. So they have gone 9 years without upgrading. So we take that $840 times 9 years. That's a lot of money. That's almost $8,000 that they saved by not upgrading. But you're not getting all the new features. You're not getting constant updates. You're not getting constant security fixes to help everything. And that's going to lead into our next one in a minute. But with Enterprise, online is cheaper. Enterprise tends to be more like at least $1,000 a year, if not more. I've seen enterprises before that are $2,000+ a year. The other thing to keep in mind is the prices that I'm talking about, this is generally baseline. It's for one person to use it on one computer. If you've got multiple users, it's going to rapidly increase here. Because with online, that $70 version that I was talking about, that comes with 5 users. To get those 5 users in Desktop, more than likely, you would probably be spending more than that $840 based on my experience and what I've seen. So long term, if you look into everything, you might actually save some money. I'm not going to say for everybody. If you're only 1 or 2 people using it, online's definitely going to be more expensive. But what you need to look at is how much you are paying for Desktop on an annual basis. Not when you decide to upgrade. What does it cost if you upgraded every single year to upgrade for your Desktop? Then take that into consideration. The other thing is there's a lot of discounts out there for online. Since it is a subscription-based program, you can go out and you can pay a year in advance and get at least a 20% discount most times. Sometimes you can get a 30% or more discount if you pay a year in advance. So that saves a lot of money right there. That $840 drops by over $150. So now you're down to $700. You're very close to what you would pay all at once for desktop. You're just getting the benefit to being able to spread that investment out over multiple different months and not paying it all at once. You also have things out there called Pro Advisor discounts or wholesale billing. If you work with a certified Pro Advisor, they have access to wholesale billing, and that's a 50% discount on QuickBooks and a lot of their products and services. So that $840 drops to $420. That's a significant drop. So there's always ways out there to save money. I think this is honestly kind of a case-by-case scenario. It could be a win for desktop. It could be a win for online. It depends on your specific situation. I'm going to call it a draw because I've seen it go both ways. For when one-man shows, small little companies, desktop is a lot cheaper. For a larger company with multiple users in multiple different areas, then online is definitely the less expensive option there. Now going into the next one is updates. QuickBooks Desktop gets updated once a year. You're not getting mid-season, mid-cycle updates most of the time. When you upgrade your QuickBooks Desktop, that is when you get any and all new upgrades, whether it be a bug fix. Now, obviously, if it's a major issue, then they roll out a fix for it. But new features, minor little fixes, minor tweaks only come out once a year. QuickBooks Online has on average 2 to 3 fixes a week and a new feature every quarter, basically. They are constantly upgrading it and constantly making it better, and you instantly get access to those upgrades instead of having to wait for an entire year to get access to it. For that reason, for the most current, the most advanced, the most up-to-date software, online definitely wins. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Security-wise, online also wins. With desktop, the security for your books is located solely on your computer. Whatever firewalls you have, whatever security places you have for your home computer is what protects your QuickBooks Desktop file. With QuickBooks Online, and a lot of people get concerned about this, it is located on a server. It's not located on your computer. But those servers have a ton of firewalls, a ton of backups. You've got multi-factor authentication, where if you log in, you've got to prove that you're not a robot. You've got to confirm with a code, either text or emailed to you. You've got to sometimes answer questions, security questions, just like when you were logging into your bank. QuickBooks Online uses the exact same encryption, the exact same security as mobile online banking. Now, no, it's not perfect. I'm not going to say that by any chance at all. But mobile online banking has been proven to be much less of a security threat than storing information directly on your computer. So QuickBooks Online works exactly the same way there. Going beyond that, we now come into kind of some features things and some different areas there with what kind of works better where and everything there. Features, it's very difficult. Inventory management, QuickBooks Enterprise definitely wins. QuickBooks Enterprise and QuickBooks Desktop can hold a lot more items. They can hold multiple different versions of items by trucks, by warehouses, by serial number, everything like that, along with being able to sync to a barcode scanner. Whereas QuickBooks Online does not have any of that. Their inventory is basically you put it in and they will track those items and that's it. It's not an advanced inventory tracking method. So desktop and enterprise definitely went on the inventory side. But the benefit to online is it's designed to integrate with third-party applications. And there's a lot of good third-party application softwares out there to track your inventory. And they are way better than enterprise. It is an additional fee. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But you can get the same, if not better, inventory tracking through these third-party applications than you can through enterprise. Takes some time to set up, just like enterprises does, but it is a lot better and it's a lot cleaner there. Talking about third-party applications, QuickBooks Online was specifically designed to integrate with these third-party apps. There's a website called apps.com that you can find hundreds of different applications that QuickBooks integrates with, from payment solutions to job tracking solutions to shipping solutions and mailing solutions. There's a ton of solutions that it integrates with for approved applications to integrate it, because that's how online was designed. It was designed to integrate with these third parties. Desktop was not designed for these third-party integrations. These third-party integrations have come in after the fact, after it was designed and put in on the back end of the code, sometimes not even approved by QuickBooks. And a lot of times they don't work as well, do nearly as much, and create a ton of errors a lot of times just because desktop was never designed to do what online can do. So if you want to be able to expand beyond what the base system is, online definitely works a lot better. Now there are some little nitpicky little things that I have found with desktop and online features wise. And this isn't something that anyone really talks about. I've just found them through all the clients that I deal with. First and foremost, if you get early paid discounts from your vendors, desktop has a feature to do that. When you are paying that bill, you can put that discount in. That feature currently does not exist in online. You have to put in a vendor credit, then you have to pay the bill, and it's got a few extra steps in it than online. So if you have a lot of those early pays, it may make some more sense to stick with desktop for right now, being honest. If you're willing to take the time to make those changes and make those recordings, then online's going to do what you need it to do for you. It's not super complicated to do it, but it is an extra step and something you have to think about. If you are used to being able to be very nitpicky with your employees and who can access what and who can do what within QuickBooks, Enterprise is still a lot better than QuickBooks Online is for that. Advanced says that they have advanced employee metrics and everything like that, and it is more advanced than QuickBooks Essentials and QuickBooks Plus, but it's still nowhere near as advanced as Enterprise. In Enterprise, we can choose exactly what functions they can do and what they can't do. In QuickBooks Online Advanced, we can say we want them to be able to do this general thing, but that general thing may exclude some things that they need to do. One example is I had a client who wanted employees to be able to enter purchase orders, but she didn't want them to be able to turn them into bills or pay those bills. Well, that's something that's linked together in QuickBooks Online. But in QuickBooks Enterprise, it's two separate things. So being very finite with what you can do in QuickBooks, Enterprise is still better. Mass entry of information. This used to be where QuickBooks Desktop won hands down, no ifs, ands, or buts. And this caused a lot of people to stick with QuickBooks Enterprise and Desktop, to be honest, is the mass entry, because you could bulk enter, basically type in everything on an Excel spreadsheet or type it into a graph, a spreadsheet within QuickBooks, and it would bulk enter 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 invoices, 100 bills, 100 expenses all at once. QuickBooks Online did not used to have that. Now with QuickBooks Online Advanced, it has that exact same feature. You can bulk enter up to 100 different transactions in one go, and you put in who you're paying, when you're paying them, or who you're charging, what you're charging them for, and it will mass create those invoices, mass send them by email, everything like that. So that's no longer an issue. Support was also a major thing that a lot of people preferred Enterprise to or Desktop to. Enterprise, if you were paying for Enterprise on a yearly basis, you had access to Inner Circle. Inner Circle is US-based representatives, generally more advanced representatives, a lot of times the people that the accountants would talk to. And that used to be only available in Desktop. Well, now it's also available in QuickBooks Online. You can get that exact same support, generally the exact same people, helping you if you have a QuickBooks Online Advanced subscription. You've got a dedicated team member that is your person. You've got a dedicated hotline specifically for you, for US-based support. I won't always say that it's US-based. If they're busy, then you may go overseas still because they want to get you the support that you're asking for. But the support is the exact same system as what they have in Enterprise. So support is exactly the same now. So back and forth between a lot of them, there's a lot of things now that QuickBooks Desktop and QuickBooks Enterprise are now a draw. The support, the batch entry, the pricing can honestly be a draw. It really depends. And there's certain things that online wins and Desktop wins, to be honest. It just kind of depends. Ultimately, I recommend a lot of people to move to online because for most people, online is going to do exactly what you need it to do, if not more than what Desktop did. And if it doesn't, we find a way around that. I'm very used to moving people over and we find a little thing that online doesn't do and we find a workaround for it. Because as long as you're willing to make it work, as long as you want to take advantage of the few upgrades, the few options that you have, then online will make it 10 times better for being able to take care of those upgrades along with getting other features and getting the same features that you have for the few little features that we have to find a workaround for or an external app. And most of the time it's similarly priced even with workaround apps. If you want some more information or some insight specifically for your company, I do strongly recommend that you reach out to an online certified pro advisor or reach out to me. Give me a call, 229-584-8793, or shoot me an email at info@waterfordbusiness.com. And we can absolutely talk specifically about your company and whether it makes sense for your company to transfer. Not every company it makes sense. Even with these pros and cons, there's different things that you have to take into consideration as to whether online makes sense for your company. And it always is best to talk with someone specifically about your company rather than going off of generalizations. So if y'all want some more handheld guidance or a little bit more insight specifically to your company, please feel free to reach out to me or someone on my team, and we'd be happy to work with you there here at Waterford Business Solutions. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.